Have you ever said something like a special cuddle or Auntie Flo's visiting, thinking you were keeping things age appropriate? The problem is kids, especially autistic and ADHD kids, often take things very literally. And as an autistic mum and sex educator, I've seen firsthand how literal language helps our kids to feel safe and confident. Those cute little phrases, your flower, down there, that time of the month, might feel easier for us to say, but they leave kids more confused than informed. So today I'm sharing 5 euphemisms to avoid and what to say instead so that you can keep your child's sex ed clear, calm, and shame free. The first one's my favourite: a special cuddle or making love. Parents often say this to soften the topic of sex, but to a literal thinker, it's just outright confusing. I'll never forget the time a mum shared with me how her neurodivergent 8-year-old came home from school hysterical after falling over during sport with a boy. And she thought she was pregnant because the mum described sex as a special cuddle you have with a boy. And making love, what the heck is that supposed to mean? So instead, say sex is when an adult's penis goes inside another adult's vagina. Simple, clear, you're not giving too much information, you're giving the right kind. So next, let's talk about body hair and why hair down there can make things even more confusing. So, hair down there refers to pubic hair down there in the genital region. It's vague. It could mean your leg, your knee, or your toe. And avoiding real words, what it does is it sends the message that they're unspeakable. And I remember finding myself as a kid several pubic hairs down there when I was starting puberty. I was terrified. I thought there was something wrong with me. I didn't know pubic hair existed as I'd never seen it before. So use the proper words, pubic hair instead of down there. And while we're talking down there, let's talk about why front bottom just doesn't work as well. There's a lot of cutesy made up names for genitals. This one trips up a lot of families. A lot of families use them. But if kids can't use the correct words, they can't describe pain or report abuse clearly. So instead, say penis, vulva, vagina, testicles, bottom, nipples, mouth also, and nipples are private parts. And then it's about adding in that they're private because they're covered by your swimmers or your bathers or your underwear, and they're only touched for health or hygiene reasons. You're not being too grown up, you're being safe and specific. So let's move on to another common one that can confuse kids: becoming a woman or becoming a man. This phrase sounds harmless, but it mixes biology and gender identity and can really confuse gender diverse or literal kids. Try instead, puberty is when your body changes from a child's body to an adult body. It's factual, inclusive, and it works for every child. It keeps the focus on what's happening to their body, not who they're supposed to be. And finally, let's talk about one that almost everyone uses but can actually scare kids, and that's euphemisms for periods like Auntie Flo. So when kids hear Auntie Flo, there's the red rags, I've got my rags, there's shark attack. When kids hear this, they don't realise that it's about bleeding. So when their first period starts, it can be terrifying. So say a period is when blood comes out of the vagina, usually once a month. It's how the body gets ready for pregnancy or making a baby. And when you say it clearly and calmly, it actually removes the fear. I once heard from a mum whose autistic daughter thought Aunt Flo had died because everyone said that she was coming and never arrived. So that's an example of literal thinking at its finest. So now that we've ditched the confusing language, let's talk about how to build your own clear puberty language plan. So here's your simple plan for clearer, calmer puberty talks. Use real words: penis, vulva, period. They're not rude words, they're accurate. Bring in visuals, diagrams, or illustrated guide, and they will help concrete thinkers link words to meaning. There's so many books that have got great pictures. Share information in layers, a little bit of info at a time, over and over so it sticks, And make it values aligned, honest words wrapped in warmth and what matters to you. Literal doesn't mean cold. In fact, being clear is being caring. It shows your child that their body and questions are safe with you. So now that you're confident with clear puberty language, what happens next when the unexpected happens? Let's prepare for that next. Here's the truth. Euphemisms, they protect our comfort, not our kids' understanding. Using real words, it isn't sexualizing your child, it's giving them clarity and confidence. And if saying those words out loud makes you squirm a little, start small. Practice them when you're alone or read them from a book. The more you say them, the easier it gets because clarity, it builds safety, and that's what every child deserves. What confusing puberty phrases did you grow up hearing? Pop them in the comments below because I'd love to see them. And now that you know how to talk clearly about puberty, the next step is learning how to give your child the right amount of information. Click the video on the screen right now and I'll show you how to avoid overloading your child.